Welcome to MedTalks, your go-to source for health information and medical insights. I'm your host, Juvenava, and we are bringing you the latest in healthcare. Whether you're looking to understand the basics of wellness, gain practical tips for everyday health, or learn about community resources available to help you live a healthier and happier life, MedTalks has you covered. Join us on this journey to better health, and remember, a healthier you starts with a single conversation. Stay informed, stay healthy with MedTalks, where every talk is a step towards a better you.
GraceMed Health Clinic is your home for complete compassionate care. From medical visits to vision screenings, dental care, behavioral health support, and a fully equipped pharmacy, we're here to meet all your health needs. Our dedicated team of providers and staff work together to make every visit welcoming and stress-free. Because at GraceMed, you're not just a patient, you're part of our family. Call 316-866-2000 to schedule your appointment. GraceMed Health Clinic, compassionate care for all.
Welcome back. I am Juvenava, Director of Community Outreach and Communications. Welcome back for another episode of MedTalks. I am here with Cindy Miles, Urban League of Kansas. Hi, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today.
Absolutely. I always take up an opportunity to converse with somebody.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I love
Talk to me a little bit about Urban League, your mission, what do you do, your services, things like that.
Sure, certainly. Mm-hmm. So the Urban League of Kansas was established 70 years ago. So we've been around for a few years. Mm-hmm. And we're really about building economic self-reliance for individuals from the Black and brown communities. Mm-hmm. We've always been about equity and equality. And so that's the kind of things that we focus on, is helping people overcome barriers and be more stable and give them more opportunities in this life.
I love that. We've been in a lot of your outreach events that you have, and we love everything that y'all do. Why did you feel that there was a need for those kind of services for the community?
Well, I think history dictates the fact that we had African-American individuals that were certainly faced with a lot of barriers, continue to be faced with a lot of barriers, and the urban leagues overall were established to kind of help them overcome some of those barriers and fight for the equal rights of all people. Right. And so we're an affiliate of the National Urban League, and we that will continue to be what we do forever and ever, because that's why we were established.
That is awesome. You mentioned that you've been here for 70 years. Talk to us about the beginning and where Urban League is now.
Yeah, so we started out, of course, as a small organization, as all organizations do. We've done a lot of stuff over the years. We fought for equal rights. We've been advocates for the community. We've had lots of programs over the years that helped with workforce and housing and overall stability, health equity, education, building careers. So we've done a wide variety of things over the years and continue to build out the programs. Of course, we've changed over the years, just like the world has changed, right? So, for instance, one of the things that we do these days is we teach a digital elder series for older people to learn digital technology.
Oh, nice.
We wouldn't have had that 70 years ago. There was no need for that. But we've had to continue to look at what the world looks like these days and how do we change to meet the needs of the community.
That is so cool. I know that my parents are a little bit older, and so they've had to call me all the time to tell me help them use their cell phones. And it's difficult to do it over their phone. I mean, they live in Texas, I live here, so it's hard to say, like, this is what you need to do. So it's really great that your program offers that. Speaking of programs, what kind of programs do you offer that would benefit, like, a lot of the patients that we serve, which are usually the same population that you serve as well?
Yep. So we have a wide variety of programs based on our 7 priority areas that we have. But we certainly have a lot of programs related to health and mental health. So we have partners come in and teach those. don't have to be experts on everything. We do a lot of stuff with partnerships. So if we can find a partner that wants to come in and teach sessions about mental health, and I know NAMI's been coming in every month,
awesome.
and they're teaching about mental health with the Black and Brown communities, and if we could have somebody come in and talk about diabetes or high blood pressure or any of a number of things that people face in regards to health issues, then we certainly partner up and do that. Again, we don't have to be the experts on anything. We just have to connect with the experts out in the world. So that's what we do. And a lot of the programs that we have, whether it's related to health equity or education or career and workforce, safe, stable housing. So we're doing a lot around first-time home buying, strengthening families. So we've got a family resource center. So we're really kind of looking at how do we wrap around the family as a whole with the different programs and services that we have and address the needs that they have. But we don't need to become a healthcare facility because we just need to, fight for health equity and use organizations such as yourself to make referrals to.
Yeah,
You're the
awesome.
experts.
We try to be.
Yes.
Are there certain eligibility requirements for people to use those services?
There's not. We
Okay.
don't have any eligibility requirements. Most of the people that we serve are living in poverty.
Okay.
And I'd say about 90% of the people that we serve are living in poverty. So we don't have any sort of requirements we don't ask for proof of citizenship or proof of income or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, talk to us a little bit about yourself. Where did this passion come from?
Certainly.
What made you want to be part of the Urban League? Talk to me a little about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always think it's kind of a funny story because I have a master's in business administration with the emphasis in international business. And so I run nonprofit organizations.
Yeah.
Doesn't really tie, but it is what I'm passionate about doing. And I grew up in poverty and had a lot of trauma in my young life, and it made me really passionate about going out and serving the community and giving back to others and trying to help create a pathway for it to be a little bit easier for others, to give them hope, to give them something to strive for. And so I have worked in the nonprofit world for quite a few years. And the Urban League needed somebody to lead the organization a couple of years ago. So I had worked with the organization in the past with some strategic planning, and I felt led to step up and help the organization. So I've been around for a couple of years. COVID hit nonprofit organizations and businesses, but nonprofit organizations a lot really hard.
Right.
And so they were kind of struggling when I came in, and we've turned our boat around and we've established all these cool programs, and we're soaring. Growing very rapidly, doing a lot of exciting things. Like this year, we are working on establishing a HUD counseling center. So that's exciting. So we can do more around first-time home buying. We're working on a project to revitalize 9th Street. So that's really exciting. There's lots of issues with vacant lots and boarded up houses in the direct area that we're in.
Right.
So how can we get those revitalized, get new housing in, get new businesses and or nonprofits in the area? So that's just a few things that we're doing at the Urban League, but I'm enjoying myself. It's great to be able to make an impact.
Yeah, that's incredible, and I love all the work that Urban League does. Some of the barriers or challenges that people in Wichita face are much different than other cities. From your experience, what are some of those barriers that you see that our community faces that, that's very much a need for solutions?
Sure. But I think, well, it's not just Wichita, because the affordable housing crisis is certainly a crisis. Trying to find the correct services, addressing mental health. Of course, mental health, I think, is huge in the community. We just don't have the proper services that we need. And tied to that, we also have a growing number of kids that are going into foster care. And that's one of the things that the Urban League will be addressing this year is the Black and brown children going into the foster care system at 3 times the rate of white children. And how do we address that issue? And that is something that's a little bit unique to Wichita. And so we've got to figure out why that is and stop it. At least make an impact on that, make some progress on that issue. So I think those are the few of the issues. We've got food desert issues, and 67214, where Urban League is located, is in one of the bigger food desert areas. And so trying to figure out how do we get healthy foods into the hands of families. And I personally think there's a lot to be said about how we support single parents, because we serve a lot of single parents. Right. And they might be holding down 2 or 3 jobs. They're trying to take care of the kids. They're trying to figure out how to get a meal on the table. How do they help the kids with homework? I mean, it's a lot.
It is.
And so that's one of the things that we look at. How can we provide more support to that single parent?
Wichita is very much growing. And you mentioned how much growth you are doing. What are some of the things that we could see within the next year or two from Urban League that can help with that growth?
Some of the other things that I haven't already mentioned that you'll see is we're working on a rapid career program. So partnering with some of the industry in the community to provide training there at the Urban League, where somebody can come in and they can train in a field that they can train 4, 6, or 8 weeks and go out and get into a field such as becoming a bank teller that will give them a livable wage and a job that has some sort of an opportunity. We don't want to just put people in jobs to put them in jobs that aren't going to take them anywhere, not going to give them any opportunity. And so we're really looking at how we can change that and how that will change the trajectory of some of the people that we serve. So
that's awesome. Urban League is such a huge staple within the city, and you have great relationships with partners. Talk to me a little bit more about your partnerships or those collaborative relationships that you have with them.
Yeah, so again, we have lots and lots of different partners. We partner with Aetna, we partner with NAMI, we partner with some of the healthcare facilities, DCF, the county, the city. The list really goes on and on of the different partners that we have, and we continue to try to identify additional partners. Again, we don't have to be the experts on everything, and we want to invite people into our building to offer some of the programs and services right there in the 67214 zip code, so we can meet people where they are. That's really important, because some of the challenges that the people that we serve have is transportation. And of course, our bus system isn't the best here in Wichita, Kansas. I think that's kind of unique for a city this size. So if we can have partners, any of those partners, come into our facility and teach something. So right now we have Getting Ahead for Men, which is a program that's based on getting men out of poverty. And Children First comes in, and they offer that, but they offer it there in the area.
That's awesome.
We had people literally go out and knock doors to get men to come and participate that lived in the area. And it's a perfect partnership because we don't need to be the experts. We just need to invite them in and provide access to those types of things.
That's awesome. If people wanted to support the Urban League, how can they do that?
So there's a lot of different ways they can support the Urban League. If they want to support us financially, certainly they can go to our website, and which is kansasul.org. And they can certainly donate on the website. But we also have opportunities to volunteer. As a matter of fact, speaking of volunteering, we have coming up starting on the 20th, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we have our 7 days of service coming up. And so that 7 days of service will allow people to sign up to go out and volunteer with different projects. And we're also looking for projects in the community that people can, maybe we have somebody come in and somebody needs a slight fixed to their toilets. It's running all the time, or maybe they need their yard cleaned up, or maybe there's a nonprofit that needs envelope stuffed, or needs some painting done, or whatever. So we're trying to match up those organizations, those individuals, with people that want to volunteer. So we're always looking for volunteers. We have a different opportunities that people can volunteer within the organization. So, and then donating items, because we have the Family Resource Center. We have a Family Resource Center shop. So we have things like diapers and hygiene items, coats, socks, different types of things that we think families might need. And when a family comes in and we're serving them, and they need a few things to get them by. Maybe they need a bar of soap or some
Right.
toothpaste or whatever. Then we
Right.
can take them into our little resource shop and help them get some of the things that they need that will get them
awesome.
by. So we're always looking for donations of those kinds of things. Diapers are a big thing, as are wipes, because families often seem to need diapers and wipes. That's a little bit of an expense for parents. And so we're always looking to refill our supply of those
I completely understand
things.
that.
So,
yeah. I don't have any kids myself, but when I'm at the store and I look at those prices, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do people do it?
Yeah, right.
So expensive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. If people were interested in receiving those services, how can they get those services?
Yeah, so they can just call us, and I do not have the phone number memorized.
okay.
They can call me. I'll give them my phone number,
Yes.
316-302-5307. And we'll connect them with John Castellaw, who's our family resource director. And John will meet with them, kind of assess what their needs are. We try to connect people with whatever resources. And we don't want to just give them a list of places they can go. John will literally pick up the phone and call somebody and work on a warm handoff for somebody, so we're not passing people around.
Right.
We don't want to do that. That's very frustrating for people to just be passed around. But you can stop in, and you want to stop in and check out the family resource shop or need something urgently, you can certainly stop in as well, and we'll do everything we can to help out.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned about MLK Day. You
Yes.
have some things going on. Are there other future events that are happening that the community could be involved in or participate in?
I know the Greater Ministerial League is having a luncheon that day at WSU's. I can't think of the name of the. I can't think of the name of the building. But anyways,
There's so many buildings.
I know, right? It's the big one that's on Oliver, and I can't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They can Google it.
Yes.
Greater Wichita Ministerial League. They're having a lunch, and I know there's several other things that are going on. And, what a great person to celebrate, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And are there any future events that Urban League is hosting that maybe some of our listeners can participate or receive services at?
So we're always hosting events, and they're all on our website. We have a calendar on our website. So when things that we have coming up are a budgeting workshop, a financial preparedness workshop, of course, our first time home buying, which we do on a regular basis. Yes. We have the NAMI sessions coming up. Every week we're doing something on the digital elder series, so teaching people about digital technology. And in addition to that, we have a computer lab that people can come in Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and they can come in and get one-on-one training on that lab as well, or they can come in and work on a resume, or they can get help with their phone, figuring out their phone, or any of a number of things. They don't need an appointment to do that. We take just drop-ins, people that just want to come in and sign in. So we'd love to help them with that. But we've got about 25 events that we've had or will have in January in and of itself. So there's a huge amount of things that are going on at the Urban League every month.
As I mentioned earlier, we love partnering up with some of those events that you have, especially some of those community events, those outdoor events, neighborhood events. Those are really great, and they're very well attended. So we appreciate always the invitation.
Sure.
Before we end our interview, is there anything that you would like to mention to our listeners or to our viewers that perhaps I didn't touch on?
I don't think so. I mean, we'd love to have them engaged in the Urban League, involved, whether it's providing services for them, whether it's getting engaged and helping to make an impact. I personally would love to meet with anybody that wants to partner and talk about how we can partner to make an impact in the community. Again, I've mentioned that several times. That's a big thing for us, is developing those partnerships, because aren't we just better all together?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so I push for that all the time. Like, how can we come together to address the issues that we face in our community and help the people that we're trying to help?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there social media pages that you would like for people to follow or learn more information about, or your website address that you like to?
Our website, kansasul.org, and our Facebook page. We put a lot out there on our Facebook page trying to engage people, so they can just Google or Facebook search Urban League of Kansas.
Yes.
And come up with that site. And so, yeah, we'd love to engage with people.
Good. Well, thank you, Cindy, so much for your time, and thank you for all the information, and we really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you, guys, and we will see you at our next episode.